Good Monday, everybody. What a wild week last week. I would like to start by thanking everyone who's been sending me healing energy and positive energy. It was a little bit of a rough go. I've had some tummy trouble, and I will certainly take all of the wonderful healing prayers that you will send me, because I don't do tummy very well.
She ain't quite right yet.
No.
But she's soldiering on today.
But I have managed to avoid the hospital, which is really good.
It's always a good thing.
Because when I gave my symptoms to my GP, he said, you might really want to know. So thankfully I'm feeling better, and I didn't have to go to Hotel Vassar, as I call it.
Oh my
God,
there's a ton of people. Hello, everybody.
All right, let me get them all written down here.
Get them down in lines. Gosh, yes. Oh, goodness gracious. So we have Savannah, Geraldine, Misty, Cassie, Cass, Sean of the New Day, Gilda, Helena, Cosmopolitan. Hello, Cosmo. You're a new viewer. Well, welcome to our channel. Hello, Wendy, and hello, Geraldine, and hello, everybody else. So, listen, I can see straight off by the number of people that have just said hello and the number of concurrent viewers we have is discongruent. Discongruent to the number of likes we've received. So please mash that like button.
All right, Cosmo, the way to get added is to become a member. On Magickal Monday, we only do readings right now for channel members until that gets overwhelming, and then we won't be able to do that either.
Yep.
So look at this, people. I had a little time to do some astrological stuff again.
Oh. Yeah, well, I don't know if you saw the little lead-in I put about what we've got, because we've just had the equinox, obviously. It was late this year. It was the 23rd. Mm-hmm. The equinox is the time when you get higher tides, simply because of the fact that the sun itself is above the equator. So the sun and moon act in consort to affect the tides. So there's like an added little bit of gravitational pull there as well. And of course, at this time, the next full moon, which I think is at the 29th, that's going to be a supermoon, so that's close to the Earth as well. So we've got an extra gravitational whammy going on here.
So we have astronomical stuff that's proven to go along with our astrological stuff interpreted by yours truly.
Yeah, but you see, now, a lot of people don't realise astronomy and astrology were exactly the same subject until somebody split it, because they thought, well, you know, how can astrology work? How can it work? It's all a load of tree-hugging hippie crap, or whatever the words were at the time. Well, there's such a thing as empirical evidence. And you have people say, yeah, well, you know, like correlation isn't causation. We're not saying it's the cause, but we're saying it's quite likely this is going to happen because it's happened so many times before when this particular alignment occurred. You know, how do you know somebody's an Aries and a fire sign? You can, you know, it shows. It's not rocket science. It's quite the reverse.
Right. So
anyway,
a lot of people were asking me over this past week, what's with this energy? Well, you know, Mercury is direct now. Why are things so crazy? What's going on? And there's a big shifting of energy when we get to the equinoxes and solstices, right? Like, we know we're, you know, for the smallest part, I suppose, we're moving out of Virgo into the sun sign of Libra. And that's a change from earth to air. So that's a big change there. But the equinoxes and the solstices do shift things, change things up, change the seasons, so to speak.
Well, they come on points. Yeah.
Right. And for us, it's the like the peak of, the height of.
Well, when you think about it, though, I mean, Alban Elvid, just to talk across you for a second, which is what we celebrate at the equinox, is the height of. And it is the height of fall at this point. The change is most profound. You can see
didn't you
happening.
notice? Didn't you notice the difference between like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when you went outside? All the leaves were on the ground already, and you know, it just
and the nights are
fall
drawing in
happened.
so rapidly now, and it's not getting so light in the morning, and our poor rooster is terribly chronologically challenged.
But anyway,
Hector, he doesn't know.
So I'm going to say that the crazy energy was a combination of the shifting of signs, the changing of the season, moving into the equinox, and more characters joining that crazy energy that we've been talking about, with Pluto making that T-square to the nodes, because the nodes are in Libra and Aries. And there's a lot more information about that.
Heck yeah.
Well, we're going to see Pluto staying there for the next couple of months. So this configuration is going to stay with us for a while, giving us plenty of opportunity to learn how to navigate that.
Adapt, improvise, overcome.
But it has been really crazy. And so this Libra-Aries axis is very interesting, because you have that Aries energy that wants to create this restlessness and this drive and this push and this tension. And then you have the Libra energy, you know, that can sometimes be manipulative to get their action to happen.
They can, can't they?
Right? So, I mean, they are the sign of justice and fairness, but they also sometimes can use manipulation to bring about that justice. Well, just like if we've talked about the story of King Solomon before, and him saying,
cut the baby in half.
Cut the baby in half. So in a sense, that was manipulation to out the justice.
Well, certainly.
So I'm not saying it's always a negative manipulation, but manipulation usually isn't positive.
They will force the issue. Shall we say that? They will force the issue. And it's really interesting that when you look at the sign for Libra, which is almost like the Ohm symbol, Ohm as in resistance, not Ohm as in, the Eastern Ohm, that symbol for resistance, and with a line below it. It's interesting, but that is almost the nature of Libra. They are given to resist, I think is the word.
Yeah.
And so that kind of forcing the issue. Anyway,
there's this this full moon in Aries opposes the sun. Obviously, it's a cross from the sun in Libra. So we have that polarity expressed again. So it happens on the 29th, and it's going to be at 6 degrees. So if we're working with tarot scoping, we might want to look at the Lover's card for a little more information.
Oh, and that's an interesting one, because there's a dichotomy in that card too. All
right. So restlessness, tension, pushiness, manipulation. The peak of power, Aries ruled by Mars, and Mars is in Libra.
Oh, God.
And if it wasn't bad enough, Mars, the ruler of Aries, where the full moon is happening, Mars is conjunct the South Node. So it's joining that rat pack of T-square energy.
Because, Mars, yes. Mars is you think about it. Oh, hello. Thank you, Misty. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's really, or super sticker or whatever it was you
so
sent.
This is like one crazy week, let me tell you.
Isn't it just, we're going to get to a lot of the comments in a second, but the energy is palpable. There's a lot of almost like fractious kind of, what is it going on, right now? It's like, you think about the energy of Mars, any Aries and Mars, it's like this kind of bags of smoke and straight up the middle. They're very blunt, very, very direct. They're almost the antithesis of Libra, if you will, but it's mirrored across the wheel. So whilst Libra is subtle and subtly manipulative to try and make things happen and will force the issue, they do it through very subtle means, whereas Mars is like, head on. Aries is head on.
Well, we
like
can
the battering ram.
We can drill down a little bit more if you'll allow me some indulgence.
Indulge yourself. I'm loving it.
So Libra is ruled by Venus.
Mm-hmm.
So we could see in the chart for that day what's happening with Venus.
Okay.
Well, Venus is in Leo. Talk about look at me.
I'm quite beautiful, aren't I?
However, it's squaring Uranus and Taurus.
Mm.
So that is also challenging. Yeah, so Uranus is kind of like chaos, panic, and disorder. My work here is done.
Oh, yeah, well, that's the modern ruler of Aquarius, isn't it? Saying them all.
And Jupiter is now getting into a loose conjunction. It's a couple of degrees out from where I would like to talk about it being a conjunction, but some astrologers would allow that wider orb. So Jupiter's going to expand Uranus's chaos. Yeah.
Time to go back to bed.
And there are a lot of other aspects that I won't get into that we could drill down into, like quincunx and things like that. But
let's not. Let's not make people's heads bleed.
But unfortunately, I'm going to say that this full moon, this super moon, again, because of its relationship to the physical Earth and its astrological relationships that are happening with the T-square, Pluto, blah, 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 and Uranus, I think the seismic activity that we will have a couple days before the 29th, a couple days after the 29th, may very well be volcanic in nature.
Volcanic activity, eh? Well,
because of all the other explosive kind of
it's interesting.
Mars and fire and Venus and Leo and all of these things kind of pushing and pulling and creating even more tension and more static. And, I think the rest of the year really is going to be deciding whether or not you're going to extract yourself from your grave. No.
That sounds a bit odd.
This is a way I could express this that people will understand. I always try to find like is it a metaphoric way? I don't know.
Yeah, metaphors. I kind of get
like
the idea of a metaphor.
when I teach astrology and I teach the houses, I say, well, these 12 dwellings, and think of them that everybody has a bakery, but somebody's bakery might be kosher and somebody's bakery is gluten-free. And, I try to teach it in a way we could understand it in layman terms. So the rest of this year, especially through the middle of November, I think is going to be about whether or not you're going to reset, right? That many things have kind of been pushed down, squeezed, rolled over, buried. And you yourself may feel a bit sorry for yourself, or like you could fall into a woe is me kind of place.
Bit of a pity party.
Well, because it's been real and it's been a lot. But I think my advice is focus on how you are going to use some of the good stuff to revitalize yourself, right? I mean, we mentioned that Mercury was direct, and Mercury is in Virgo. So Mercury is health, mental health.
Okay.
And it is opposing Neptune in Pisces, which Pisces can also be about health and how you serve others and how you serve yourself.
All
right? So now is a time.
Pisces can be a heavy sign.
Pisces can be heavy, but this is again like this deepness, this depth of our soul, this really looking at self, because Pisces is that self-undoing house. So I want you over the next 2 months to ask yourself, how can I crawl out from under the negative stuff? How can I get it off me? How can I create a rebirth? How can I build my newness?
So like almost like a renewal kind of thing.
What do I want to look forward to? And what do I want to prepare about my life? Because next month starts eclipse season. So you could release something big and move on to grow something very good. But you have to have your act together. Mercury says scrutinize.
Scrutinize. How can I make it better? How can I get rid of the unnecessary baggage, perhaps?
What's on top of me that really doesn't belong to me?
And it's really interesting, but, all of us are our own worst critic, I think. And we tend to be influenced by what we think others think of us. And we tend to put badges on ourselves to try and, almost like conform with people think I'm this, or I think people think I'm this. And so we stick this kind of weight on our own shoulders sometimes.
Or there's been some, there's stuff going on that is...
It's not a very happy place.
There's been a lot of things that could cause real
consternation.
I know worry is manifesting in rebirth, but there's been some things going on with finances and economy and preparation and
seriously, not to get political, but it looks like sometimes people have just set the controls for the heart of the sun and just laughing while Rome burns.
No, but
it is kind of crazy like that, and you see it wherever you look. You don't get the good stuff fed in. So that's why we hope you're watching us, because we try to put good stuff in.
Right.
we try to purvey happiness and
again, what I've
positivity.
Said regarding this T-square, I've said, think to yourself, how can I make this better? How can I make this more organized? How can I make this easier? How can I reach a goal? So there's that kind of energy pushing. In preparation for next month when eclipse season starts, and I'll talk a lot more about that
as
then.
we get into it, yeah.
But I will say that I'm planting a seed now for organizing yourself financially, because there'll be kind of a watch or a regulator regarding finances in October. So sometimes when we have an abundance of money, which there's a very good chance for really good economic things going on in October, we tend to overspend. So I'm going to say in advance, put aside some for a rainy day, because it may get a little more interesting later. So don't think, oh, I've got all this money now.
Lisa manages our finances. I suffer from shiny kid syndrome. I'll be the first person to admit it.
What's that? When did you buy that? How much is that?
Hey, listen, I will admit to having a new phone. I just got a new phone, but my in fairness, my old one was old. It was an iPhone 10, which is now officially end of life. So there you go.
All right.
Hello, Miller. Is that Miller? Thank you for joining us. Welcome to our channel.
And now I did see a thing go by where Sean said the veil is thinning. Absolutely.
Oh, yes. You have to make a double take sometimes. What was hiding under that leaf?
And we're into the ancestor, the veil that pervades across the veil to the ancestors this time of year. So
it was really spooky. I just going to go back to what you were saying about seismic activity and volcanic activity.
I'm very worried,
and also
because the other two predictions were really...
All right. Calm down.
Well, we had earth, we had water, now we're going to have fire.
And wind. Let's have the whole thing. Earth, Wind and Fire. It's like a 70s jazz funk band there, weren't you? Anyway, moving on. I just had the luxury, and I haven't seen her since 2016. My sister and brother-in-law were with us for a week before they went back to England. They'd just been on, I guess, like a bit of a world tour, and they'd been to Hawaii as well. And so the interesting thing was that they went to visit a dormant volcano, and the guy, the guy that my brother-in-law John was talking to, the guide or whatever, was saying, you know, we're not sure, but there's an awful lot of activity going on right now, and you know it's starting to vent and all this sort of stuff. Would you know, next day it erupted, of course, the day after they went.
Well, thankfully.
Well, probably, but I mean, obviously you you don't get too close to an erupting volcano, do you? You don't want to.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is we know that the moon affects the tides and has a pull on the tectonic plates. And now we have this Aries Libra axis for the full moon. And it's pure energy because it's 6 degrees, right? So it's not into the second decaden. And we may very well see some seismic activity, but because of all the other aspects, configurations, players, whatever you want to call them, I think this seismic activity for this full moon versus what I talked about the last couple of times is going to be volcanic. I don't think it's going to be Yellowstone in a detrimental, we're getting off the planet kind of way. But I do think there will be some shifts maybe there, or some steam vents changing. And I do think there may be a volcanic eruption.
It's interesting, but not to get all geological on your butt here, but you know the tectonic plates float on like kind of magma.
Well, one rolls under the other.
Well, that's where you get a subduction zone, as it's called, where the crust is actually floating. So yes, when we do get, you know, an astral body come close to the Earth, which the moon does, it's tidally locked to the Earth. It moves things around. It physically does move things. I mean, we see it every day with the tides, you know. But the magma beneath the Earth's surface is also, you know, pulled around, you know, with gravitational pull. So yeah, I wouldn't be.
It's going to be a
in
wild
the least
week.
bit surprised if there wasn't some weird stuff. Misty's saying Alaska has them all the time. What volcanic eruptions?
Well, it is going to be at a higher latitude this time. I think the action is going to be at a higher latitude rather than.
Well, yeah, you would think is it the Aleutian Islands in the Bering Straits? That's very similar to like Hawaii Misty, Hawaii with the same sort of, you know, volcanic kind of activity all the way through it. So yeah, it's interesting times.
Cool stuff, man.
Yeah,
Challenges.
But for
as above, so below.
For
as
ourselves.
above, so below. So we are going to have this same kind of shifting, pulling opportunity, right? Yep. Are you going to push yourself? Are you going to challenge this restlessness? Are you going to alleviate this tension? Are you going to talk yourself into doing something you've always wanted to do? Or are you just going to lie there?
And just complain about stuff. Because that don't fix a damn thing, does it?
Right?
Yeah,
so,
to fix a problem, you have to admit there's a problem.
Well, it's a good week to really look at the details.
To be critical.
And have that rebirth of something. A rebirth of yourself spiritually, a rebirth of paying attention to your physical body and your nutrition, you know, a rebirth of whatever you wanted to get organized and haven't been able to yet. You know, dig out from under and be ready for the good stuff.
Opportunity to change your life here. If you haven't already done it, I know a bunch of you guys that are watching us have, and some of you are indeed signed up. But we start our next Craft of the Wise course on Sunday. On Sunday.
We had a couple
1st.
Cancellations, so we do have a couple openings.
We can squeeze you in. We will squeeze you in. Just give us a shout. 845-255-5756.
It's in person only, though.
Yep. It is. This one, yes, we've decided to do it in person simply because we find it works better.
Well, it's one or the other. I don't think mixing is
hybridization. Unfortunately, gives not the best of both worlds. It's both our compromise. So we've decided to do the online one separately. So we'll do that separately.
We may not have one right now because I might
not.
do some other cool things like an herbal class or shamanism.
Hello, Jen.
class.
Jen's joined us as well. How marvellous is that? Look at that. We just mash that like button, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What are we doing? Oh, is it pull some cards now? Is it?
Well, I think it's time. We're almost halfway through, and we have a whole bunch of people.
We're only halfway through. What are you doing?
No, I said we're almost halfway through, and we have a whole bunch of people to pull cards for.
Well, should I pull a card? Should I do
You
that?
would be pulling a card for Savannah.
Savannah was here first this week.
She was.
Savannah, what we got for you? The Ace of Cups. Talk about now's the time to woosah. I just think this is such a meaningful card. And I'm going to take a minute just to give the backstory about this card as well. So, all of you, if you are interested in the tarot, really should read Arthur Edwards Waite's book. It started out as the key to the tarot, and then he put the pictures in it and called it the pictorial key to the tarot. And if you get the commemorative deck book set, which also comes with the Life and Times of Pamela Coleman Smith in it, you actually get that book in there. But it's something you should read. The only problem is it's written in Edwardian English, and it's also written somebody with a very, I want to say, condescending.
Well, he was a high magic.
High magician, rather full of himself, sort of.
Hoova sort of dude.
And yeah, bless him. I mean, obviously, we're very grateful for the
We wouldn't have
the
these
wisdom
cards.
he's brought to the fore with the redesign of the tarot cards, because this was a revised deck of cards. This is where he brought it about. A rectified deck, I think, is what he originally called it, something like that. But it became known as the Rider-Waite deck because it was published by the Rider Company in England, and Waite had his name on it. The most influential person in this, I believe, is the illustrator, Pamela Coleman Smith, who barely gets a mention. He's referred to mainly as the artist by Arthur. And so in this book, when you look this up, it says, the hand comes forth from the cloud and brings forth the chalice from which 4 streams are pouring. But if you look closely, you'll see there's actually 5 streams there. So Pamela Coleman Smith got it in a way that kind of eluded him, because whilst your 4 streams may make the elements, which are also very important, earth, air, fire and water, but without spirit, without animus,
Well, the
nothing
4
exists.
elements together create spirit.
Or do they? It's physicality. I don't know. But there's so much going on in this card. So this is like the chalice is the divine feminine, and we've got this equal arm cross being brought down by the host here. So this is like almost like a chalice and blade thing going on, and life is coming forth from that. And again, we've got water lilies on the surface, but water lilies only grow in crappy muddy water. If this was beautiful clear stream, you wouldn't have water lilies there. You've got to have that muddy bottom for them to take root. So it's a very transformational card, this. And you can look at things and you think, oh, what a mess, but you can get great beauty from that. And I think this is just so much coming into being for you. I think this is a time for you, and this is like it's an inception right now, because it's an ace, this is like it's getting going. But I think there's a complete reimagination of yourself. And I honestly think you're arriving at a place of self-actualization, not self-realization, but self-actualization, which is quite a profound place to be. So kudos to
it only
you.
took you 5 minutes to get there.
Shut up! I thought it was necessary for the backstory. We're not even halfway through yet. You see what she beats on me all the time.
Savannah,
It's a
aces
tough
are
life.
new beginnings, and this is the Ace of Water. Again, this coming into this time of year, this depth of emotion, this understanding of ancestry, this amazing opportunity to fill your cup with knowledge. I think you are starting a very, very wonderful journey. Yeah, looks like a really good time to me. What's this?
Geraldine saying happy Monday, Jen.
Oh, happy Monday.
Just
everybody.
pulled over. Well, that's good.
just pulled over by a cop, or you pulled over on your...
No, you shouldn't be trying to text and drive, Geraldine.
All right,
Don't
Geraldine,
do that.
you're up now, so I'm glad you pulled over so you can listen to your card.
Dear, oh dear.
Geraldine. Fantastic card.
Oh yeah,
right?
actually
The
it
death card
There's-
is change and renewal. So this is going right along with what I asked. Are you going to crawl out your grave? Right? I really feel like there is some kind of spark of energy that you're reconnecting with, feeling youthful and ready and armed. Sometimes things happen and we feel a bit tired, slow, weak, not ready. But I think there's a lot of activity planned for you. And I think you're going to like really keep up with everything and feel really good about your ability to keep up with everything. So I think this is going to be a really good week for you.
Oh yeah, this is change and transform. It is renewal. It's a renaissance for you, it's really interesting because I know we were in each other's company on Friday night along with a bunch of other folks, and it's an absolute joy to see how you have completely transformed. And so this again, I think, is very much about, change and transformation and this everybody shuffles off this mortal coil. I mean, he's obviously had way too many bacon butties or whatever. But, once he's come down and taken the newly departed down to the River Styx and crossed on this here ferry here to the other side, look, there's this whole incredible world opening up, new worlds. So I really feel like this is like that you have arrived at Geraldine 2.0. or even a further revision, maybe 3.0, 4.0, who knows. But I feel that there's a tremendous liberation for you, that you have been able to leave behind your old life, the old drudgery, the old stuff that didn't truly fulfill you. And I think you're in a place of kudos to you. That'd be my 2 cents.
Peggy, you're very welcome. So Peggy's saying thank you for her birthday gift. So we've decided that people who are legitimate shop customers, meaning they allow us to text them, we have their email address, and they're signed up for karma points, will get a birthday gift, a good karma gift. But you're going to have to be able to receive a text. You're going to have an active email, and you're going to have to be a Karma Points customer, because then we know you're truly a customer of the store.
Yes.
It's not just like you came in once and we're going to give you a birthday gift,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Not that we're stingy, but we're not giving away 1,500 or so
we're trying to build our family, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
it is, of course we'll send you something on your birthday. Why on earth not?
Misty.
Hello, Misty. Misty is a channel member now.
She is.
If you guys aren't yet channel members,
She drank the Kool-Aid.
think about joining our channel. Oh, I like this one. I wonder if you can tell you. I'm going to tell you it's the Minor Arcana Justice card. Can you tell me what that would be?
I could.
Yeah, of course you could.
See the scales?
It's a bit Libran, isn't it? It's interesting that, isn't it? So, I feel, Misty, this is a card telling you about, again, judgment, discernment particularly, and making best possible use of all available resources.
Looking twice.
Do look twice. See, this person, where I come from, 6 divides easily by 2. Does. You get 3 each. But this guy's got 4 going in there, maybe getting more, and this guy's going, oh, gimme. But look closely and you'll see there's this kind of red ticket there. What's he got in his pocket? The winning lottery ticket? Who knows? There's something just because somebody yells.
Not as they appear.
Just because somebody yells doesn't mean, their cause is just or right or proper and that they deserve your support, In fact, the blowhards are the ones that you should be... Blowhards, that's a good word. The blowhards are the ones you should perhaps be a little circumspect of, Look at me, what about me, what about me, what about me? See, somebody... truly great puts themselves in service of others and doesn't demand things, you know. That's, to me, that's the pinnacle of human development, you know. To be in service to others, to try and help others, to try and bring everybody up, to lift people up, to build the bridges, to, you know, so discernment, that's the thing for you.
My reading for you with this card is about not tipping the scales, right? It's okay to be generous, but if you give away too much, then it might be out of balance and you may not have enough for yourself. So, I don't know, to me today the yellow is just jumping off this card, and I associate that with solar plexus, work, willpower, independence. So I feel like there's something going on regarding finances, work issues, and whatever you would do on behalf of someone else, you know, like if you're working for the man, for example. But I just feel that there's kind of a proceed with caution here about how much you give out, not exceeding that which you keep. And that's for the week.
Can't pour from an empty vessel.
All right, Cass.
Oh, speaking of bridges.
Fives are challenges.
Can be.
But I like this one because now is a time of year where we do focus on those who have crossed the veil, those who are remembered and live in other. And sometimes we can get ourselves lost in that space. And sometimes we need to. But this card does say, look, there are two cups here still standing. There are things in this world that need your attention. So I think because we're having this Libra Aries axis, for you it's finding balance between focusing on the new and the going forward and the resurrection, the digging out of your, you know, grave sort of energy that I was talking about. Finding a balance between that and a balance of quiet time, of remembrance, and maybe meditation or conference with those who are part of the past.
Yeah, everything she said and more besides. It is, you know, those who are remembered live, for sure. But, you know, whilst we honour, and we should never forget, and we should always remember, without doubt, don't allow yourself, particularly at this time of year, to get totally sucked into the pain of the loss, you know. But instead try to honour those who have gone before us, you know, honour what they did, you know, and respect it and remember it. But do remember that, you know, you're still here. And the stuff you have to do. And it is
there's a way to cross the water. There's a lovely bridge.
There truly is. Yeah, it truly is water under the bridge. And also, just what a lot of people escapes them on this card is there's that strong. I just keep saying I'm not a feng shui master. You know, I'm from Birmingham. What do I know about feng shui? Only what she's taught me. But I do know that a house on a hill with a river running past in an elevated position is an extraordinarily good sign. It's a good omen. And this is not just a house. This is a house of spirituality. It's a church. So you've got that. So I don't know. I see this as like, you know, really sort of paying attention to your developing spirituality.
Yeah, like kind of a full circle thing, isn't it?
So this actually speaks well, although it doesn't look so good. change the focus.
Well, it's
and
a challenge.
It is really good.
It's a challenge. Are you going to meet the challenge?
Yeah.
You know?
But all that's
Every
necessary...
day is a challenge these days.
Sometimes, yeah, the simplest things can be challenging. But this is, if the focus is just altered slightly, everything transforms. So just bear that in mind.
I don't see it as a bad card.
No, it's a card of opportunity.
All right, I'm up to pull for Sean.
Sean was saying something really cool. He was saying, wow, this is exactly what I need to hear. This is really hitting home. Well, thank you.
Well, you know, you're just in touch with the...
Oh, look, I'm screwing this up. You spread them out.
You're in touch with what's going on. You know,
I don't know what I'm doing.
we as above, so below is such an amazing statement, you know.
It is.
Sean, your card's hiding way down here.
What have we now? Oh, that'll do.
Queen of Pentacles.
Like that card.
This is very much kind of a, that which you are seeking is causing you to seek. So for you, I'm going to say you're coming into a time of remembering. You may be getting flashes of kind of past life stuff, or recognizing parts of you that you didn't understand before, and giving honor to that recognition. This is also a card of fertility, not necessarily physical birth, but like a spiritual kind of birth. And it could also be like a financial rebirth. But for you, I just kind of feel like there's some sort of eye-opening, holy man, I've been that, I've done there. You know, like the learning becomes a remembering or a reconnecting. So I think this is going to be a really cool week for you.
This is I've got a weird kind of download dump just as she pulled this card out.
Hey, Carol.
And it's almost like there's Lisa describes it in astrological terms as mutual reception, where the signs are wearing the opposite signs' clothes, so to speak. And I feel that this is almost like the Gwydion with the kissed and you know, mothering, although he's not really a mother per se. It's almost like you are bringing something forth into this world. And it may well be something of other, but it needs to be done with a degree of nurture and love, rather than, you know, the way that we guys typically do things. It's not like you get out a saw and a screwdriver and a few bits of wood kind of thing. This is very much about the spirit of something, the nurture of something, the nurture of nature and the nature of nurture. You know, it's all this kind of weird.
Well, in Christopher Hughes' deck, this character is the Dawn. So.
And in fact, if you don't have the deck, it's her.
I sat for the
God,
picture, yeah.
It was kind of cool. But there you go. So this that's the Celtic Tarot by Christopher Hughes, available at all fine booksellers and the Awareness Shop. So there you go. But other tarot decks are available, he said, in the spirit of fairness. It's very much, there's that whole nurture thing, and there's so much going on here, and I think this is an actual wonderful time for you. But it's having you think about things very differently, and almost being challenged to think about the way you think about things, if that makes sense to you. You know, who do you think I am? Interesting card. Good card, but interesting.
All right, you're up next.
And I remember eating the frog. Excuse me.
Gilda.
Gilda. Not so bad at all. Again, though, there's this sort of focus of this kind of shadowy.
Well, all the sixes are dualities,
aren't they? Yeah, there's
sort,
that you know. Whilst there's much being offered to you here, there's still that little focus on the shadowy oogies. You know, maybe some degree of loss, some frustration there. You know, but it's going to balance itself out. It's okay if you focus on what's being offered to you. Focus on that, and it will be transformational. I did that short, eh?
You did.
Hey. Well, I could tell the frustration level building.
No, I'm in pain, actually.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were getting frustrated with me.
Gilda,
Hi,
there's
Carl.
some sort of proposal.
Excuse me.
Gilda, I think you're going to have some sort of proposal for some action.
Are you allowed to say that? I guess.
I don't know. Well, certainly how you answer the proposal is up to you, but I feel like there's somebody that may be worthy of looking at a little closer. So maybe you don't want to say no to a date. It doesn't mean that you have to, rent a hotel room and go mad on a first date.
Probably.
But I think at least going on a date would be positive. So, and that's kind of a seismic shift, But yeah, I do see an invitation proposal, and, sometimes just the idea that somebody would be interested gets us thinking, oh, well, maybe I really am marketable. Maybe I really am beautiful. Maybe I really am lovable, and makes us feel good about ourselves when we're recognized as somebody else's potential love. So I'm going to say it might be a good idea, if you feel safe and comfortable, to accept the invitation.
So there you go. Dun, dun, dun.
And I'm up first with Helena.
So there you go. Nope.
Whoops, what's this? Do you see me getting employed? Linda, I'm sorry, we only do readings on Magical Mondays for channel members.
That is correct. But if you throw us a super chat, we might make an exception.
Helena.
Go on.
Victory. Another 6.
Oh.
Do you realize all these 6s?
And what
No.
were you talking about neurologically as well?
What did I say?
You
I said the full moon was at 6 degrees.
How fascinating.
What's this say? Oh, thank you. That's exactly what's been going on. Okay. All right. 6 degrees, full moon, another 6. We've had everything but the 6 of swords, I think.
So far.
Right.
We'll probably get that next.
Well, that might be the card of the week, so who knows? So, Elena, this card is known as victory, right? But I feel for you, this has to do with some sort of financial breakthrough. I don't know why, but I feel that you're going to get a really, really good job offer. And you may be torn at first. Sometimes we have all kinds of things that we've worked and worked and worked at to get in place, or to have a certain routine, or to have a certain sense of security. And sometimes an opportunity will come along and it rattles us, because we think, well, if I do that, I'm going to disrupt my whole routine, or my whole bunch of organization, or things that I already have in place might get jumbled up. But I'm going to say to you, most of the time, a job is not offered unless the person offering it thinks that you can do it, right? People just don't willy-nilly offer a place in their business to people that they think will fail. They offer places in their business to people that they think can help their business. So what I'm saying is, I feel like somebody here has confidence in you. Look inside and see if you have that same confidence too. And you may want to take this position.
Again, and I think we said the same thing last week. Even a kick up the arse can be a step forward sometimes. And the most unlikely circumstances, and sometimes can be quite painful, can lead you to an incredible victory. And it's sometimes, change can be painful. Uncertainty is scary, We'd all like to have the answers of everything in front of us. We'd love to, do that. But understand, the old parlance, no plan survives contact with the enemy. You have to adjust. You have to think on your feet. But do that. And if you adapt, you're a very resourceful woman. You're very intelligent. And I think it's going to come good for you. Mm-hmm. And you're going to become quite elevated and hugely respected doing what you're doing, and will rise to the top. And don't turn down a leadership position. Do not, okay? Don't think I'm not worthy. As Lisa said, you wouldn't be offered that gig if somebody else didn't think you're worthy.
Yeah,
Again,
but sometimes it stirs everything up. It has like a knock-on effect.
Our own worst critics, aren't we?
Well, because we have to change our routine. We might even have to change our sleeping habits. There's all kinds of things that are all intertwined when we change our income or our work status. But I feel like this is very positive. It's kind of like an answer to something you've been working on manifesting.
So there you go. Yep, don't turn it down.
All right, you're first with card of the week.
Can you... No, we have Carol join us?
Is Carol a channel member? Absolutely,
yes.
All right, you're first with Carol then.
Oh, all right then. Well, let's have a look.
I'm sorry, Carol.
Oh, the Hierophant. I love this. You have to look at these words. Fant is somebody who honours or worships or whatever. Like a sycophant is somebody who basks in somebody else's glory kind of thing. You know what I mean? Whereas a Hierophant is somebody who honours the secrets as a hiero, as in, hieroglyphics. It's like a secret language. So it's, I feel that, there's an awful lot of unlocking of secrets going on right now. And I think yeah. I could go on for a week.
You're onto something.
I could go on for You're onto something, girl. And I think that's just like, it's really weird, but you're starting to learn to decode the stuff that's been in plain sight all around you forever, but you've never looked at it and decoded it. And I think
with different perspective.
I think you've attained that level of wisdom through a lifetime of experience that you just can't get overnight. To get that degree of I'm sorry, you're owie, aren't you? I can tell. I can see that. You don't get that by accident. It's involved work and much study, and I think you're I don't know. I really feel that this is like a cool card for you.
All that he said, plus I'm going to say this card relates to Taurus for me.
Interesting.
And I feel because of this red color, it has to do with security, base chakra kind of energy. So I feel like this week, some very positive structure, safety, security, feeling well again, and feeling okay within your own self, your own sense of self and security that way. But I also feel a real sense of safety and security within your home, within your living arrangements, within your routines and abilities. I feel that there's a depth here and a comfort, like a blessing in that way. So I think it's going to be a good week for you. What's Gilda laughing at me?
Thank you both. Dating is least on my mind right now. I'm more like trying to work on my health and focus on the kids. But what
you
about
know what,
you?
Gilda? When you're looking, nobody finds you. When you're not looking, they find you.
Yeah, I wasn't looking. See what I found? Interesting.
But Carol, I think that's a very positive card.
It is. I'm going to put it back where it came from.
All right, card of the week.
Well, you get to pill that one. She don't want to pull the card.
I don't want to move.
I'll move. You're...
It's a 7. Well, our good old friend, discernment.
Discernment. Yes, indeed.
I can see that a lot of things are going to be cropping up here. right? We talked about volcanoes and seismic activity. We talked about scrutinizing our health and our mental health. We talked about dealing with these challenges and these tensions and this full moon energy that's coming. And we're all going to feel it. We've already started to feel the shift of the wave of energy from the equinox. So I think a lot of things are going to be coming at us. I think it's really important that we don't just take the first thing, right? That we kind of analyze, scrutinize, and digest before we jump. I know that Aries is ready, shoot, aim. We want to keep that in mind. So we want to make sure that we're focused on the thing we want to be focused on and not something else. So to me, this is a real week of discernment, of gonna sleep on that.
Yep. We always have to make choices, and don't be in a rush to make it, because not everything is exactly as it appears. Nor is it necessarily otherwise, to be honest. But a second glance, a second look, scrutinize, analyze, play it forwards, work out a couple of scenarios. Don't overthink yourself to death, but don't be in a rush just to bite. Oh God, I'm just going to take the first one. Hold fire a sec. But you will make a decision. You have to, because in the words of Yoda, choose you must. But don't be in a rush. Discernment is key this week. Discernment. Learn to sort the wheat from the chaff. I think there's going to be a lot of misinformation come out from all over the place. I really feel that there's, but eventually, as I believe has been forecast by the amount of times the Tower card came up through various astrological alignments, the falsehood will collapse under its own weight, and we'll all be able to see.
This is going to be an interesting. But you got to have your filter on.
But
got to have your filter on this week.
Collapses usually look like train wrecks. You understand that, but sometimes we have to make discernment. Discernment is key.
Right.
Yeah, this is key.
Linda, again, I will say to you that we only read for channel members on Magickal Mondays. So if you want to join and become a channel member, or offer a super chat of some sort, maybe we would read for you.
Yeah, well, if you don't want to become a channel member, throw us a super chat. But
all right.
You actually get your money back in karma points.
So people talk about the herbal class.
Oh, yes.
So what I would say to you is it will be one Sunday a month. And this time of year for me as a high priestess is a really wild and crazy time, because we're coming into Rocktober, right? And there's a certain level of responsibility that comes this time of year, and I'm trying to juggle. I don't even know how many plates spinning on sticks. But since we didn't get a Zoom class, which is absolutely fine because I'd much rather teach in person. Not that Zoom isn't valid, but it's not the same.
It's different.
So we didn't get a Zoom Craft of the Wise class, so I'm probably going to announce starting in November and once a month on Sundays an herbalism course. And it's kind of a combination of kitchen witching and herbalism. I teach by planet.
God, it's
so
deep
right,
course.
We would like start deep with course. The herbs of whatever planet, sun, moon, all the way out to Saturn. We would only do the visible planets. And obviously we teach planetary rulerships. And then I usually serve some sort of food that goes along with that planetary energy. For example, the moon rules coconut. So I usually make round
coconut
cake for that class.
Yum!
And one of the class we get plant familiars and things like that. And then when we get to the Saturn class, we recognize that most all of the herbs ruled by Saturn are poisonous.
So we don't hand anything out.
So I don't do food for that, but I won't give away the secret of what I do teach in that class. So it would be one Sunday a month, and I think it's 7 or 8 months, because I know there's only 7 planets, but I think there's 8 classes. And then I'm also...
huge volume comes with
it's
it.
not as bad as Craft of the Wise. I think it's only 300 pages instead of...
It's significant, though.
The other things I love to teach are an introduction to shamanic practice. I am not a shaman, so I couldn't necessarily say that I would teach shamanism, but I talk about lower world journeys and power animals, and our plane of existence and divination, and upper world journey and spirit contact. So that would only be 3 classes once a month. And then I also have I think a kick-ass tea leaf reading class that people have been asking for. And then a bunch of the people that have taken other classes recently are like, when are you going to do palmistry? And that's a really good class too.
That is a good one, actually. That's like...
And then don't forget that astrology is going to start in February. So...
Ooh. Astrology's deep as well.
It is. But so there's a lot of things, and you can... keep up with that on our events on Facebook, and then we'll also send out emails, and we'll also talk about it here.
So there you go. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. That's an hour just gone.
Everybody's like, sign me up for the herbalism class.
Well, steady. We have to put it on the calendar, but it's probably going to happen. So
I'm very excited for Sunday too. I love the Craft of the Wise, and the first class we teach the history, and we teach our history, so you'll know where we fit into the scheme of things.
What about you, child of promise? Where do you come from?
And a lot of debunking of rumory things that you might have heard about different craft people like Gerald Gardner or Aleister Crowley and things like that.
It's a heck of a class. We absolutely love it. It starts out with a very academic background, but it is kind of necessary this stuff. But it shifts then more into there's a ritual every single class has a ritual, so you really kind of get into it. So it's sort of quasi practical from the get go, but the further we get into the course, the more practical it becomes. But it's necessary for you to know what you're doing before you just do it.
We build for 6 months our toolbox, and then we start using those tools, literally. What is Savannah saying?
Tony was listening to this with me and said, oh man, are you okay? Did you sign up yet? I've been telling him I wanted herbalism next. Well, okay. Herbalism will, I'm pretty sure, be happening, definitely.
Yeah, probably start in November, and like I said, it runs for 7 or 8 months once a month.
But it's a cool course, really is. But yeah, so we love teaching. It's a privilege, but we just point out we're just hokey tour guides. We really are. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your journey, especially in the Craft of the Wise.
Thank you. She said the Craft of the Wise class was absolutely amazing. She loved every minute.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, thank you.
We love every minute of it, too.
It's good endorsement. I love it. It was a lovely course, this one.
We talk about as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. And another part of that Emerald Tablet karmic teaching, hermetic teaching, is as you learn, so shall you teach. And it works in the other direction, too.
As you teach, so you learn.
Every time you teach, you learn something. So each of those classes are experiences that group shares, and we learn something or have aha moments ourselves every time we express those teachings.
Do you need me to bring anything on Sunday? No, you get everything.
Nope.
You get everything.
You get a binder. You get a journey crystal quartz that we ask that you bring with you to each class. You get a weirdness journal. We even give you a pen.
Yeah. The first pen's free. The next one's $60. No.
So you don't just have to bring yourself and an open mind, because it could get a little bit wild.
Expect some preconceived ideas to be challenged. That's good. Jen wants to know if she can sign up because she just wants the coconut cake. Jen, come on. We get presents. You get presents. Yeah.
Oh, there's so much stuff. That's why the class is $650, but you get over $300 worth of stuff right? Because you're going to get all those color printouts. You get 2 books, a weirdness journal, an athame, witches' runes, candle,
Wands,
a robe, a wand.
pentacle,
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
a couple of books.
Yeah. It's a fun
Binders
course,
and
but
stuff.
you
Yeah,
realize what, you know,
There's a
if
lot of
you,
material with
if
this
you
course.
look at the events picture, you'll see that there's a whole heap of stuff there that
Circle
comes
in a box
included.
as well.
Oh yeah, circle in a box. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot, just the material alone. So it's not, you know, like you pay a small fortune and you get to watch a slideshow. It's not that at all.
No.
It's the main thing. I will say this about the Craft of the Wise thing. And I know we're slightly over time, but you guys are still here, so we'll keep going. We've never yet had a course where everybody who started completed it.
Well, because they expect I'm going to take this to learn how to smote my ex-boyfriend.
And
then they realize that it's not witchcraft, it's Wicca.
Well, Wicca per se is modern witchcraft. It is, but it's. Do we get a signed photo of Anton?
Oh, who wants that?
Why? Why? You want it as a dartboard, Sean?
No witch is ever going to give you a picture of themselves. What are you talking
I
about?
think we're freely available.
Who is this?
Helena's laughing. But apparently everybody's laughing now. Well, apparently.
Why? Who wants this?
I think Sean's teasing. I think he's teasing. Yeah. No, I don't. We don't have signed headshots. We don't do that. Gosh, no. You throw me for a loop now, fella. What the hell was I saying?
People don't realize it's like a college course.
It's
a huge
intense.
commitment.
It's intense. There's work involved. There's homework. There's pop quizzes. You're here to learn, and you know you can participate fully and get a massive amount out of it. Or you can not be asked and get nothing out of it.
Well, because
it's your journey.
Isn't it a spiritual class? That tells you that you get out of it what you put into it.
As within, so without.
Yep.
As above, so below. You know,
Right.
it really is. But if you're on the fence about it, we've still got a few seats because of cancellations. We'll get you in.
Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans.
But it is what it is. But very much looking forward to that. And what else we got? That's it, really, isn't it?
That's it for now.
Well, again, there's a massive
Free Reiki on Thursday.
Still, yes.
Just the last few weeks of free Reiki on Thursday. If you live local and you want to come get some juju, come out on Thursday night, give us a call, get an appointment.
Please do give us a call first, because we'd hate to disappoint you, because it's always like a cattle call at the end, isn't it?
Everybody's
It's
starting
like
to
when
catch
the
on
word's
now.
caught out, you know, oh God, yeah, and you know.
But we'd love for you to come and get some Reiki.
So just give the store a call. They've got a sign up sheet there, 845-255-5756. Free. And we'll let you know what slots are available. So that would be good. That's it. What I was going to say is, look, there's still a hugely disproportionate amount of likes to the number of people watching. Please mash that like button. And if you're not a channel member, consider becoming one, because it supports a really good cause.
And share this all over the place so people get to see it.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you
All
for
right.
watching.
Peace.
We'll
Brightest
catch
blessings.
you later. Have an amazingly wonderful day and be well, be blessed, and bye-bye.